Hello, viewers. Welcome to Simuka Comedy Festival 2020, the virtual edition. My name is Doug Vikela, and I welcome you to this panel discussion where we are hosting the best of the best in terms of Zimbabwean stand-up comedy talent that has gone out to far-reaching borders to look for greener pastures. Well, they think they are greener pastures. Now I'm just playing. These guys, they're doing well for themselves. So I think it is. So this is going to be a fun discussion. This is going to be something that we also want you guys, wherever you are, to please just put questions, comments, whatever you want to know and get to understand about these guys. We call them our boys. Because they're representing us very well. So before I even waste much time, let me just introduce them one by one. We have Chick Aujoy. Chick Aujoy, we call him Mr. SA Got Talent. He's a guy who
Yes.
he's a guy who's claimed to fame is a tokolosh.
What?
He's going to tell us.
Why?
He's Jimimbi's young brother. He's going to tell us more about his tokolosh and how it has made him famous. He's the only guy who has successfully proven that you can have a tokolosh and be famous. He's going to talk to us about Jackie. We also have Louis, based in the Netherlands. Louis is a comedian that I think most people in Zim are well aware of. Since 2012, he has been hitting it hard before he moved away to the Netherlands, the land of marijuana, the land of ganja. You see the hairstyle, and he's feeding the hair. Welcome to the show, Louis. Welcome to the discussion, Louis. And we also have Long John. We have Long John, the long man. We call him Long One from Chimani Man. His claim to fame is his joke about watching porn in Chimani Man. I think when everyone who was giving him the awards, when they saw him, they said, "This guy in Chimani Man, porn. Let's save their souls." And the award money was put up to put in Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Long John has been on a very good ambassadorial role, as well as the other guys, winning awards, turning heads. I will give you the opportunity to guys to introduce yourselves to our audiences before we get into the reason why we are having this discussion. We also have Charles Manasseh from Botswana. He's not yet here. The borders are closed. We also have Courage based in Namibia. The desert got the better part of him, and the sand. It was a quicksand. Disappeared somehow. We hope you will join us. So I'll start with you, Louis. Maybe if you just introduce yourself, tell us more about who's Louis, what's up, what's happening in the Netherlands, why the Netherlands. Just want to get an appreciation of what's up?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. It's really something of an honor in my comedy career to be part of such a big festival. Well, my name is Louis, also known as the Prince of Comedy. I'm a comedian under Simuka Comedy and also an actor in the hit series Special Class. I act as Vumba, the sidekick to the legendary Puchu. The Netherlands, as you say, the land of the free. It's been a good experience also being here and being Zimbabwean. There are a lot of things that are new to me that I'm sure that everyone else understands. But I'm really happy to be here.
Great. I hear that side you do things in threes. So we also want to welcome Long John. Maybe if you can, introduce yourself. Yes, to our audiences.
I think you already introduced me proper, but let me just repeat again. Well, my name is Long John. I'm based in South Africa. I'm from Chimani Mani. Yes, where we send lightning via WhatsApp. We don't play in Chimani Mani. So Yeah, so I'm now based in South Africa. I do comedy around. I try to do comedy around the world. I'm still, traveling and stuff like that. So my dream is to just, represent Zimbabwe on big stages around the world. So yeah, that's it.
I'm loving the humility. You trying to be humble.
Foot sake.
I'm like, dude, this is your time to shine. If you don't gloat about you winning the Pan African Award, so Long John is currently the reigning best comedian in Africa, and he's Zimbabwean. So yeah, we are proud of that. Chick Aujoy.
Yeah. My name is Chick Eljoy. I'm a stand-up comedian from Zimbabwe, based in South Africa. I'm not just a stand-up comedian. I'm Africa's first black ventriloquist. Yeah, I'll explain that later. Oh my God! Exactly.
What?
Are you touching yourself?
No.
Are you sure you're not touching yourself, comrade?
No, I'm not.
Oh man, comrade, yeah.
So yeah, that's Chick Eljoy. Yeah.
Okay. So at this particular moment, I'm going to take the time to welcome. He's trying to get in. So yeah, so guys, I think the reason why we in hosting the Simuka Comedy Festival this year, we were looking at a situation where we wanted to have everyone come down physically, all of you guys, and perform. But unfortunately, because of COVID-19, because we didn't have the funding to do that. Anyway, we say to ourselves, let's try and do this, because if we had done this physically, we're going to have a show where you guys were going to perform as the comedy experts together on one platform. But today we are saying, how has it been, like being in a foreign land? How has it been, like trying to make your name abroad? Like, it's not easy for Long John to be recognized in South Africa. It's not easy for Chick Aujoy to be on SA Got Talent. It's not easy for Louis to open a comedy night in the Netherlands. So I want to understand, like how has it been? How have you managed to make it in a different basis? I'll start with you, Aujoy. How has it been, especially looking at going on SA Got Talent and managing to get so much traction? How has it been? How has been the journey?
For me, it was quite hard. Especially the fact that you are a Zimbabwean living in South Africa. Like, somehow we are kind of excluded in a way. Because even for SS Got Talent, most people don't really know. When I went to SS Got Talent, they thought I was actually South African because I can speak Zulu, which is not really Zulu, which is Ndebele, right? So me, by speaking Ndebele with other people backstage, I sounded Zulu, right? So everything to them was normal until the time I went on stage, got a golden buzzer, and then they're like, okay, now it's time to what? It's time for us to write it down, to write your name down, to sign documents and stuff like that. So when I was signing out documents, nationality, that's when I'm like, nationality Zimbabwean. They're like, what? Zimbabwean,
what have you done?
I'm like, no, exactly. Yeah, boy. So from there, that's when I had to say, no, I'm from Zimbabwe, guys. And they're like, Ish, we have to disqualify you right now. And then the producers were like, Ish, this guy has a golden buzzer. We cannot disqualify him. He has a golden buzzer. Instead, let's wait for him to go to the semifinals, and then we don't count his votes, right? So that's the way they actually took me out on SS Got Talent, right? So I went to the semifinals knowing that they're not going to count my votes, right? So it's kind of hard. Like, it is hard. But in terms of comedy, like the circuit, it's actually the easiest thing, I think, because the South African audience is kind of tired of hearing the same stories from South Africans, right? So if you are a foreigner or someone is coming from another country, they actually want to hear what you got, like, what new, what happens in your country. Those are the stories they kind of want. So it's easy that way. But in terms of penetrating the whole game, hey, you really need to work hard. You really need to work hard.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Kunzima. I hear Long John concurring, saying it's true. Tell us,
Yes.
tell us some more. Because do you know? Tell us some more. What's your story? How has it been for you settling in and making it?
So here in South Africa, you have to know that as soon as you arrive, you're an outsider, right? Your comedy is the only thing that will get you more stage time. You have to be good. You're not in a clique. You don't know anybody. The only way is to be good. You have to kill, you see. So they give you a chance. The thing about South Africa is when you come through, they give you a chance. You perform, and they want to see if you're good. If you're good, that's when they say, hey, I have a gig, come through. You see, so all of that builds up to one like big gig, you know. So you really have to be good, and there's like, you know, you can actually become good because there's a lot of stage time, there are a lot of different audiences, and if you're not good, they let you know right there. You see, so it's really tough, but that toughness makes you stronger. Yeah.
So Long John, maybe before you proceed, how many comedy nights do you normally perform, like in a week? How many shows would you say comedy nights do you perform in a week, on a good week?
Okay, so now because of COVID-19, it's very spaced out. But before COVID-19, I could perform like 3-4 times. It depends which city. If I'm in Johannesburg, I perform 3-4 times a week. If I'm in Cape Town, I perform like almost every day, because in Cape Town there's a gig every day, sometimes 3 times a night in Cape Town. In Durban, sometimes 3-4 times a week also. So imagine by the end of the month, you have improved. You see, so that's the thing. There's a gap for you to learn. And the audience is always different. That's the thing that I like, which means you can actually develop one joke every time when you perform. You get it? So you know, in other countries, when if you come back again and you do the same joke, they're like, hey, you are repeating. So there's no room to grow your material.
In Zimbabwe, they will say, "I'm not kids."
Exactly. You see, they're like, you're not funny. But that's the process. You see Kevin Hart and all of those big guys. When you see the special, that's material that they've worked on in comedy clubs around America, you see. So as comedians, we need that space. Like recently, like last night, I was performing at this comedy show in Market Theatre. It's meant to be a new material night where the audience know comedians are trying out material, you see. So imagine if you do, you know, nights like that where you are ready to die, you're ready to bomb on stage. The audience know you can bomb anytime. You see, that's how you grow. I was performing with Skumba, Pom Pops, all those big guys trying out material. Imagine.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm just going to take this discussion to another level. Now I'm going to leave the border jumpers and go to the real comedy experts, those that were on planes. And they
wow.
Yo.
Okay,
I feel excited.
I don't know if you guys have passports.
Me too, bro. Like, ouch. It's fine.
Exactly.
Okay, so Louis, what I'm now from Intercape. You know, Intercape doesn't even imply the South African route, so I'm now going to by air. Okay, so Louis, what has it been like?
So,
you know, getting to a place where, go on.
Okay, I was saying my scenery is a bit different in the sense that the area I moved in part of Europe is not really an English-speaking area. So it's called the Schengen area. So all the 26 countries around that region are really not, English is not their first language. So it was a very challenging thing that I had on my first times visiting, because when I used to come through, there were less comedy nights available because they have to be strictly said English speaking. There are comedy nights, there are comedy clubs, so many of them, but it always narrowed down to English speaking comedy clubs. And you find that they were so further apart that imagine a scenario that you have to drive maybe or get transport all the way to Kadom just to open a 5-minute set. If you get it, it's not really based on are you going to get it, but it's a possibility because the few English speaking people are all chasing for that. So after these challenges, it led me to just resonate around the city I live within. This is when I saw that I traveled to cities like Amsterdam and Rotterdam and other varying cities, but there was nothing happening in the city that I was in, which then led me to partner with a local group that was running an event place. And then I approached them. Initially, I got the manager's contact detail. And by the time I emailed and got confirmation of appointment, the first thing that the manager was asking me about special class.
Wow.
This is the effect that was there because how they operate here is it's not really based on what you promise, it's on what you have. And because I came in already with them knowing that I'm part of we already do this, I'm part of something, I'm not trying someone who's just trying their luck. They fact checked me before I even approached the meeting. So in the meeting, really, it was more confirming when do you want to have an event rather than trying to pitch them my idea, because I pitched my idea, they already sold, and it was just more about confirming. And this is why I'm always really appreciative of all the lessons we had in the workshops of Simuka, because then I learned to curate a show in a different way than what it's been done. Because really, it's mostly UK people that come and have shows here. So already, they're subjected to one narrative, which is just stories about the UK, Brexit, of which people also had gone through. We're getting tired of that. And now it led a really big void, which then I came in and then I brought in something different. A show that was different, a show that brought African stories that were never told. It fought against all the stigma, it fought against all stereotypes against Africans and Black people. And it was really a wonderful experience. It's just unfortunate that the COVID era came through and then shows were cancelled and banned. And again, the comedy circuit here is also different in the sense that it works in seasons. During the summer season, it's very hard, the task for you to host shows or plan shows, because people look into having more outdoor events.
Oh, nice.
So comedy shows, I sort of take a leave during summer, which is something new to me, because in Zimbabwe, in Simuka, we have shows every month, twice, 3 times every month. So taking a break and a holiday was something totally different to me. But it's also something that you get to understand that, okay, this is how the market works. You mostly have when the times to work. And again, back to the stories in terms of your material, it was something different because you're telling stories about a place that they've heard and Googled about, but they've never actually had someone explain to them that, look, yes, Zimbabwe, yes, we used to carry money on wheelbarrows, but people like me can also come and, we are here. We're just the same people, So it also helps fighting stereotypes.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
okay. I hear you. Yeah. I think that's nice. That's deep, man. One thing I appreciate about you guys, you are true Zimbabweans, true hustlers to the core, true students of the system. You go anywhere in the world, you conquer, and you but don't overdo it, because they deport those people. Eh?
I know.
So looking at Louis and
I was saying, I remember that at some point I actually told myself that I told myself the other time that I felt like a party member sent with a manifesto to sell it to the Europeans.
That's funny.
Yeah. So okay. So now looking at where you guys are, I know personally I'm an introvert of kind of some sort. I don't like just like I don't like being where I'm not supposed to be. So you guys are somewhere that probably you love to be, or maybe you don't. You're just there because you have to push your career. So my question is, specifically to Long John and Louis, because Chikaujo, you don't know whether he's South African, Zimbabwean, Zambian, he looks Malawian, so we just say he's African.
He's African.
But to you guys, language barrier. Look at Chick. Chick can speak in Ndebele, can speak in Zulu, but you guys, Long John, I know Zulu maybe you are learning, but I know you Urisamanyika Summers. Louis, I know you. Yeah, you know, like you salad. She Dutch also. So how are you coping? Maybe I'll start with you, Long John. How has it been? The language barrier, like going to Soweto. Like, have you done the Strictly Venek shows where they are doing Strictly Venek? How do you fit in? How do you?
Yeah. So the thing, it's always interesting because first of all, it depends with how they introduce you on stage. So sometimes the host will introduce you as welcome, a comedian, Long John, and then you have to explain yourself, like why are you speaking in English? And that's always tough, But sometimes if the host actually says, hey guys, this guy is from Zimbabwe, he came today. So he's gonna speak in English, right? And then the people get ready that, okay, it's going to be English. And then in some cases, you have to make it so simple. Like some of your jokes, you won't even perform them because some of them don't even speak English. Like, I know, we're not going to listen to you. You see, so it's about, so what I normally do is I do my research a bit. I see what's going on around the area. And then, I try and talk about things that are, that are around the area or what they normally talk about, around the area. So that's what I do. Even when I go to Kenya, like I performed a Chechu show, but it was in a place where they all speak Swahili. You see, like everybody, it was a Swahili lineup. I was the only English. Yeah. And I was the only English performer there. So I had to talk about Kenya, Nairobi, more than anything else. So they appreciate that more. They see, oh, this comedian actually did his research, So they appreciate you talking about them more than just doing material that you prepared. So that's what I've always done.
Nice, man. And Louis, how has it been? Like, I know in Netherlands they speak what language they speak? Dutch, weed. What was the language? Weed, ganja. I hear they've got porn cinemas in the Netherlands. Is that true, Louis?
Yo, I'm gonna come there twice.
I hear there are porn cinemas.
Oh, so now, to be honest with you, the Netherlands to a Zimbabwean is like watching I don't know, it's like watching TV. You watch it, but you don't want to believe it, but it's happening. There's so many things that happen, or that you find out. Like I remember when we were watching the lockdown restrictions, I remember that part of the things that were locked down were sex clubs and sex theaters. I didn't mind. Like, understand that in Zimbabwe, they were closing down schools, airports, shops, the CBD, and here, so the two just did not make sense to me. How a sex club is a priority? How do you even have a sex club? Like, how?
But you look well fed. You look well fed and well catered for by those clubs. So we are grateful for that.
But in terms of your question, in terms of the language barrier, really what happened is how it works in Zimbabwe, how it works here. Imagine that if in Zimbabwe, if all our government buildings gazetted news, everything was in Shona or in Ndebele. And there was no English. Imagine living in such a community where you go to the bank, Mamuka say, Masura say, rather than the good evening, the good afternoon and everything. So they really are so, how can I put it, so patriotic to their language. It leaves then those who don't know how to speak Dutch out of many of the systems and programs that happen. So even during the lockdown, yes, there were programs that were part of it, but because we're non-Dutch speaking people, they would not apply to you. But however, now as you know, as somebody, who came to... Pardon?
ngataure shona boy regenga kana ngataure shona
Twitter chika udwe mzambiano azonde
ndiri mushona iwe ndinokupa gara ndinobhureketa ini iwe patambe mdara ndingatonyera iwewe.
Okay, so yeah,
the language barrier really is the language barrier really is a big strain, because once you don't know how to speak Dutch and you don't understand, then you're not appealing to the Dutch market. I'm really more appealing to what they call the expats. That's all the other non-Dutch speaking people within the country. Because if you want to apply to a Dutchman, well, yes, they're very blunt about it. Speak Dutch. You know, if you can't, then
okay.
So it's also
okay. No, that's eye-opening. I'm not coming there. Chick, I'm gonna throw this at you, because this is something that is directly maybe targeted towards you and Long John to some extent. I mean, Long John is now the Pan-African comedian the best comedian in Africa. So he must be living in Senton, 4 ways, and you are still in Soweto.
Wow.
How has been xenophobia like? How has it been? No, I'm just playing. Trying to make it fun. Wow. So xenophobia is if you what has been your interaction with xenophobia from a perspective of the audience themselves, and also in general from maybe general South Africans that are around you, being someone who's based in South Africa? Can you just share something about that in your journey?
In my case, I'll be lying. Like, I haven't been part of any xenophobia attacks at all. Like, I've been here for about 7 years, but I haven't, like, for some reason, it haven't affected me, right, personally. But the people around me, in terms of family members, because I stay in Joburg CBD, right? So it have never like really affected me. But the people stay like in Jimsting and other places, my family members, like I've had like horrible situations, right? And as a comedian, what I actually do is I go on stage and I tell those stories that my family members have been through. I tell them as they are mine. You know, I even have a joke where I'm like, last year she said to a point we are scared to go to Shisanyama. And they laugh to those things, right? But to me, that's me trying to make them understand like what we are going through in a way. So I would be lying if I say it have affected me. Nope.
I know why. I know why it has never affected you.
Yeah.
Why Long John?
Look at him. He's wearing a sporty like a South African. This guy is trying to blend in. Look at him. He's blending in.
One patch.
But I think, Chick.
Yeah.
Also, there is Gay Fu Maorera. We need a female rep to balance the forum. So I think we were grateful maybe to answer that. We were looking at comedians that are practicing outside Zimbabwe, Zimbabwean comedians that are practicing outside Zimbabwe, and these are the ones that we managed to reach out to for this. Munya is locally based. She's based in Zim. She's not based outside Zimbabwe. So yeah, it's a comedy exports comedy show for comedians that are outside in Zim, trying to see what it is like there. So thank you so much for that, Gayfu. And we really appreciate that. Hopefully you had a chance to see our female comedians also talking yesterday during the symposium. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we're really grateful. Coming back to what we were talking about, Chick, I think in the future I need to exercise caution. You just told us that you live in Joburg CBD and they're coming. So there's a comment. There's a comment there from Kadem. Kadem says, given a stable comedy circuit in Zimbabwe that is weekly shows running around the country, will you guys be comfortable coming back home to kick it at home?
Okay, can I take that? So for me, this is how I feel. Yes, I would love to come and perform in Zimbabwe, and because it's my home and I love the love from home. But the thing is now, with me, with my dream and my vision, I've always wanted to represent Zimbabwe outside. So I'm that comedian that will always travel and represent the Zim comedy industry outside of Zimbabwe. You see, but I would love to always come back and perform in my own country. You see, that's me. Citizenship.
Okay. Chick Aljoy, you are this one, yeah.
In my case, I would really love coming to Zim. Like, I actually don't see my career being like 100% based in outside Zimbabwe, right? I have my own reasons, right? Like, I enjoy performing internationally and all that thing, but I love Zimbabwe more. The only reason that's stopping me is because the industry is not stable yet. Like, the circuit is not stable yet, right? If it was stable, I would really come to Zim, bro. Like, I would really be best in Zim. Like, year in, year out of in Zim. But ish. Yeah.
But okay, and hopefully also you have a passport by then.
You're not right.
Why joke?
Louis, talk to me. Would you come back home? I know you didn't live that. It's not like you live. It's just been 2 years, bruh. So don't go like no. Just Would you give up and come back?
To be very frank with you, I think I'm the.
Would you give up 2 years of sex cinemas?
To be honest, because Pornhub is now free, so I can come home. But ultimately, it's free. It's free, Baba. It's been free since March. Everyone knows.
What?
Pornhub.
I know. Nobody knows.
You see, the ones that deny. Anyway, let's go to the question, Joe.
It's that side only, and because yesterday I was on Pornhub and they wanted to.
Yeah, but you need data, man.
Oh, sorry.
You need data, man.
Okay.
But anyway, about your question, I never left Zimbabwe because it was uncomfortable for the comedy circuit. For other reasons, yes, my reasons for leaving the country were there, but for Zimbabwe, the reason why I still keep my ties and tell a Zimbabwean story is because I'm always going to be Zimbabwean. If anything, it more has made me more patriotic. It's about the fact that I've seen how the Dutch are patriotic about their country and their language. Yeah. So why try to force myself to infuse in somebody else's culture and language when I have my own? Yes, it's for difficult times indeed. But in a very different scenario, yes, I would be in Zimbabwe and trying to push that the name of Zimbabwean comedy rises. The same way the South African circuit rises. Trevor Noah now is on big shows, hosting Grammys, but he's still South African. He painted the South African story. So why can't I also tell my own Zimbabwean story until I get there? So it's definitely without. Okay, let me not lie. I was going to say, with a heartbeat, I would come back to Zimbabwe. But yeah, let's just say I love Zimbabwe.
You don't No. I respect you guys. I mean, like you are in foreign land. You can afford data. Look at Charles and Courage. It's hard, Baba. So it's really.
Sadaro Diogo Mdara, Sadaro Mdara.
So, yeah, Louis, there's a follow-up question there from Louis. I hope it's not your ghost account. There's a question from
This
Louis
is
there that any plans to tour rest of Europe? And I'm like, what are the odds?
no. He's
Why
asking
did you
himself.
ask
He's
Louis?
asking himself this question. This guy.
Himself, Louis.
In terms of
Okay,
the
Louis.
plan of
Yeah.
the whole of Europe, the challenge I explained earlier on, already I've performed in Germany, I've performed in France, in Austria, in Belgium, and here in Netherlands. And again, it's the same issue that I keep facing, that you have to find an English-speaking comedy club. Because if you go to France, yes, you have to speak French. If you go to Germany, you have to speak douche. You have to speak, so it's hard. What?
Speak what? You said something there. Jewish? There's a language. It's a language.
My bundles are so I mean, whatever they speak in German.
Jewish.
I mean,
Douche.
again,
I don't know what the nickname menu.
Guys,
Louis, are you telling me my vet at our vet throat? Because look, I'm vet for CNN. Let me edit his name and say Louis the douche.
Now, if you're looking at English-speaking countries, you're looking the UKs, the Irelands. It's like the United Kingdom area. Here, really, you have the Poland, the Germanys, the Austrias, and all of those speak their native languages. So again, you trying to look for gigs in Germany is the same issue I have here in terms of not having enough of the comedy spaces. So it just restricts me back to the one. I'd rather focus on the country I'm in for now until maybe my ties grow stronger and I can be able to travel. For now, I still have a green passport. So the United Kingdom brings very haunting memories. I think as all Zimbabweans we know, it's not so easy.
Okay. So I think we also want to appreciate also the fact that you guys have been pushing your work also online. You're looking at the shows, maybe the lives that you've been doing. And during this COVID-19, how was it like? You're in foreign land. Would ask for help from. How did you guys survive during this horrific period where content production outside your own country also you had to basically being able to think outside the box? And then how was the COVID experience? Chick Outjoy, wasn't Jackie giving you problems? Jackie needs an audience. How has it been? Wasn't Jackie getting into your head? Walk us through
that. For me, I would like COVID actually really hit me hard, right? Because I was actually surviving with comedy. Like my whole life since I came to South Africa, it's been comedy. Like my source of income was comedy. So I make sure I was paying rent with comedy. I made sure that I had food on the table with comedy. And then COVID came and there was like a huge gap. Like it was so visible that dude, you're actually sleeping. There's a lot of things we could have done. Like the first week of COVID, I remember my fiance was selling pap, right? We're trying to sell pap, delivering it to people. And then the second week we tried masks and then it didn't work still. And then it forced us to create skits. So when I started creating skits, I started researching who I can sell these skits to. And luckily, we found a company, a French company called Undermant, right? And we started creating these skits for YouTube and selling them to this French company. And this French company, they were actually buying it with a good price. So that's the way we actually managed to survive COVID, through our skits that we were selling to Undermant. If it wasn't for that,
Yeah.
Kumusha.
What I love
But,
about
it
you,
was
what I
tough.
love
It
about
was
you
tough.
is what I love about you is that you never compromise in terms of quality. You work with a French company, you get yourself a fiance. But I still
Fiance.
but coming back to that chick. How was it like? Because we know comedians, you guys, you are also, you suffer a lot from depression. I'm a comedian also.
Oh yeah.
We suffer a lot from
I was
mental
about-
health issues,
I was about to say
depression,
that.
anxiety, and things like that. And now look at you. You have got your fiance, and also you have Jackie. Because people might want to laugh at it, but Jackie is a character that you have to make sure that is taken care of mentally. You have to always be creating, thinking of Jackie in mind. And here you are during Corona. How did you balance that mentally? How did you remain sane on a mental? Yeah.
I'll be lying if I say I actually remained sane, because there was actually a time like that's not just him that. Like there was a time it actually hit me real hard.
It's called Zuda.
What and then is Zuda.
Man.
There was a time it actually hit me. Like it felt like midlife crisis. It was a midlife crisis, but it felt like midlife crisis because I felt like everything was on top of me. Like I was stressed. Like it was hard for me to sleep because I'm thinking, "Good ish, jara rendro dog badaro ish, apa jara kudya mazai makuseni manje planning like those things they all came to me. You know, as a man, I struggled a lot. Like I won't call it depression, but I went through some self-thinking, self-searching, like what's next? To really wanna keep on pushing comedy. What's next? What's gonna happen? What if COVID lasts for the next 4 years? What you gonna do? How you gonna survive? So all those things they came down on me, and I went some stresses. Like I really went some stresses, but I'm still here, man.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Strong. Yeah, we see you. Yeah. So okay. So I'm looking at international relevance. Also, I have to say that I'm always proud of what you guys have become, because I think from the infancy of your careers, I had the interface with you guys back home in Zim when we're trying to still try to grow Simuka comedy. When the idea of you guys, rocking up the national scene was not even a reality. And I think here we have got Chicago Joy. You've managed to share stages to Skumba, DJ Fresh at what do you call it? At the SA Got Talent. That was huge, man. And you look at Long John, you're rubbing shoulders with Steve Harvey. That was huge, man. And you have Louis rubbing shoulders with Vibai Simoto in Netherlands. I mean, like, you guys, it's something that I have to ask. How does it feel like? What does it feel like for someone who's not warm, but conquering foreign lands? How does it feel rubbing shoulders with big name comedians? Like, walk me through that.
Okay.
Because I've never been in the
So with me, it feels great because that's when you start seeing other comedians in the industry treating you differently. When I won that competition and everything else, something shifted. I could see other comedians saying, "Hey man, how are you? I have a gig. Do you want to perform now? Do you want to perform?" But back then I had to kiss ass to perform. You see, now some people beg me. You see, I'm not bragging, but that's what's happening. I see it. So something like that happening to me, it's actually motivation. Yeah. But it's motivation to me to keep going for achievements like that. You see, that's why you keep seeing me, getting myself in those opportunities, looking for those opportunities, hunting for them, because it's addictive. It's very addictive. So yeah, that's how I feel. It feels amazing.
Yeah. So Maria
Yeah,
Steve
what Long John
Abere.
said is actually true. Like,
Oh man, I forgot to tell you. So right now, if it wasn't for COVID-19, I was supposed to be doing a tour with Steve Harvey. I was supposed to open for him right now. So
You see?
hopefully next year,
You see?
hopefully next year, I'll,
Yeah.
you know, it will happen.
You see, and when you open for Steve Harvey, it means that even you have to just upgrade yourself in everything, and
What do you mean?
yeah, you want to say something?
I'm that a joke much pindir. But I actually agree with Long John. Like performing with big guys, as we refer to them, like it kind of puts you in the map. Like you kind of
Yeah.
get that respect for comedians. Like not just comedians, even when you get bookings from other promoters when they check,
Yeah.
oh, I saw you
That's
last
true.
month, you were with this guy. The money they offer you in a way, they kind of respect you. Like they don't just you know, when you are nobody in data, they can approach you with anything. Like, hey, this is what I have, what. But
That's
now
true.
it's kind of
That's true.
different because they feel like, if I so long John and Steve Harvey, if I so long John and Ningi Ningi, how can I just approach him in a 200 rand? That's disrespectful.
Yeah,
Make it.
that's true.
Saka, they one of the two away before they come to you because they
It
kind
adds
of
value. Yeah.
exactly. It does. That's
Yeah.
That's the way. That's the easy way to put it. Yeah. Saka, yeah. Louis,
Yeah.
we might
Okay, Louis. Guys, one of the joke, guys.
It's true. Now it's true. It's
Louis,
gotta
yeah.
be true.
Let's see. Oh, yeah.
For me, in my case, my biggest claim to fame was being part of the special class. Apart from that, I had nothing else that I had. So when lockdown came, it really hit me hard because the only other way I knew was comedy, you know. So for the longest, I really did suffer a lot because I wanted to be where my heart wanted to be. It was not possible, you know, and I was trying to do it that every day. But eventually what happened is that since I was now here recognized as a, how can I put it, as an event planner, we were put under the program of the local council, and then they funded that we do small projects for the people around. That's more like it was more like a face-to-face interaction. So we would go play maybe in the center of a mini complex, and then the people would watch from their houses. So really, it wasn't about comedy, but it was more about the visual work that I'd had. And again, I applaud Simuka Comedy because they only got that confidence from seeing that at least I had been part of it. So I was working with, yes, the person that everyone wants to hear about, with Vimba is Muto mostly, since we are working.
Yeah, we see you. We see. Hey.
I will live in the same.
Is it true that you are the one? Is it true that you are the one who takes the pictures?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I can just say this for now. But yeah, it's COVID really hit hard.
Okay. So yeah,
in terms of comedy, the only thing I had left was just to be writing, and I'm really hungry to stage. And it's,
me too, man. Same here. I feel the same way. When COVID came, guys, it was hard. Like OJ Chick, comedy was it for me, nothing else. And I had to look in myself and see, okay, what can I do to make money? And then I realized, I also do graphic design. That's when I actually focused on my, graphic design. And if it wasn't for graphic design, I have no idea.
Okay. So tell us, Long John, how has that been coming?
Yeah.
How has that been going on for you? Like the issue of graphic designing, because when graphics and comedy come together, we talk of genius. So how has that been coming up? Are you getting business? What's happening? Tell us.
Yes.
What's the story there?
So you have to understand that as a comedian, you're also in the arts industry. And in the arts industry, there are people that want your service as a graphic designer. You see, there are people that need, posters, logos, and stuff like that. You see, so you're kind of like in the public eye. So I used my, my social media to advertise that I do graphic design. And that actually helped me. So comedy, in a way, kind of helped me to get more clients. So most of my clients are comedians from USA, from Canada, from Australia, and they get me more clients. So it actually kind of grows. It wasn't like I'm starting from scratch. Already I had a reputation for I do my own artwork. If you look at my artwork, I do my own artwork. So that actually helped me more, as an artist also. And as a comedian, when you're writing your jokes, you look at things differently and you create. So that actually also helped me to put the same creativity in my graphic design. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to address a few things. Like, guys, Louis says, COVID. I'm okay. Doc Vikela, everything about you is like Dopo Gang. Come on. Come on.
Come on, guys. You did this to yourself, man. You did this to yourself.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. So the issue, the excitement. I think the other excitement that I have when it comes to dealing with comedy back home. What we're trying to do as Simuka Comedy is to try and create that comedy circuit, to create a frequency in shows. And when we talk to you here, my question to all of you is: Do you think it is achievable for us to have a comedy circuit in Zimbabwe? If yes, how would you advise Simuka Comedy from people who are already in vibrant comedy circuits? Post-COVID, like we know with COVID is just before COVID and post-COVID, we know the circuits.
I think you're already on the right track because you're doing exactly how I imagine it. Like you're doing workshops around Zimbabwe, right? You've done in Bulawayo and everywhere. You're building the future. You see, because that's the future. That's where that's tomorrow. So that I think you're actually doing it. In terms of comedy clubs, giving others a chance to actually try out. I came from Simuka. I started doing comedy at Simuka. You were there on my first gig, you see, and look at me, I'm doing gigs around, you see. So that's where it starts. It starts from new comedians, and you groom them, and you never know, you may groom the next Trevor Noah or whatever. So I think you're actually on the right track as Simuka.
The next. Let's say the next long journey. We need to start celebrating ourselves. We need to start celebrating ourselves regardless of achievement. Because you might be. Yes, we need to celebrate ourselves. You are part of a few comedians. You have won the best comedian in Africa, and so we need to be mindful.
No, thank you.
Sometimes we need to be humble. But you die humble, and rather than you have your day. Louis, what do you think, Louis? Yeah.
I think Louis, as Simuka, we just need to continue with.
You're part of Simuka.
Yeah, I'm saying as Simuka, I think we need to keep breaking doors. We have seen that we have suffered the worst of the worst in the world, and really there's nothing that should hold us back any further. If all comedians are really putting forth that this is something that they really want to do, then I think it's time to hit hard and I'm not to say celebrate, but we need to stop mentioning, as you just said, no, we should make more of Long Johns, more of Doc Vikelas, let's have more people come out, and I'm really happy that Simuka has made it possible, and then the reach has grown wider. And I think it's also a task on us, the so-called experts, to also make that reach to other Zimbabweans who are here, because it's so disjointed. You know, these are also the same people that are willing to, if people in Zimbabwe, living in Zimbabwe, can pay $5 for a show and attend, then these people surely can also support in various other ways. There are various platforms that we can support Simuka as. But it's also a task that we, the ones that go out representing Simuka, look exemplary enough, a good template for Simuka. Because if we mess up, if Long John does not win awards, if Chick Joy does not have a passport, it doesn't look good on the comedy circuit. You know.
Wow.
Why does it seem like your passport issue is now a public secret?
It's actually real.
To the public, I actually have a passport. Okay.
Is it valid?
So I also checking.
Yeah.
So Chick, before you say anything, I just want to congratulate you on the nomination for the BAA Best Comedian Award nominee for tonight. You, Sky, so that guy, and Tando. You guys are going to go and head to head for the award. It's really brilliant, and keep up the good work.
Long John.
Well, you're right. Don't bring your chefs here. Don't bring your chefs.
Okay.
Yeah. So it also, and I think also what I've also picked from you guys is that you are people that are very focused in what you're doing, and these youngsters that we are grooming back home, they need proper role modeling from yourselves, right? When I talk of role modeling, I'm saying if a Simuka, our work is to make sure that these youngsters, they know of Chick Joy, they know Long John, they know Charles Manasseh, they know Courage, the comedian. We need now to come up with collaborative measures. I don't know what you guys would have in mind, but I'm saying in collaboration-wise, do you think we can do something together? This virtual thing is going to be there post-corona, and it will bring us closer to audiences. So would you collaborations are the way to go, so that youngsters in Zimbabwe, they get to see their role models frequently, and they get to want to emulate you guys, because your role models given by virtue of being where you are and shining the way you're shining. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, you can talk.
Before I answer that question, I wanted to answer the question that you asked the guys before, right? I think the guys are right that what you guys are doing right now is actually the good thing, because you're actually producing upcoming comedians. Now, with more comedians in Zimbabwe means more clubs, right? Like a comedy circuit is only big with how many clubs they have. Like that's how they judge it. Like, okay, I can perform 3-4 times a week. I can perform 4-5 times a week. That's how they judge the growth of the comedy. Because as comedians, we grow by going on stage. The more you go on stage, the more you grow. So what you're doing is a good thing, and I pick you guys up for that. Like, I really pick you guys up for that. And then in terms of doing collaborative things with other guys that you guys are grooming, Mina, I am keen. Like, I'm 100% keen. I am free. Whether it's a skit or it's a show, I am keen. Last year we did a show with Long John, Kobulawayo. Like, I am keen. Anything, I'm keen. Anything homegrown, I'm keen.
Yeah. As for me, definitely, guys. Like, I'm always open to help out, because I know how it feels like as a new comedian. So if any comedian approaches me, I'm always there to help. So if there's like any workshops or stuff like that, I'm here 100%. I love to help, because I know how you know how it feels like to be a new comedian, and you need to learn. You're eager to learn, but there's no way. You know this. So I think right now the industry is growing where you have Simuka to learn from. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I'm 100% in.
Yeah. Nice. Louis.
I think I like to stay under the Shona idiom, is it, of Kandilo Kanova? It's Kandilo?
Two days ago, I'm looking at one.
Hey,
Kandiro chinye, kandiro kanibe, kanita kume.
ewe mabhonzo acho ndanga apera. Sorry, Doc.
Kandiro.
Kandiro kanenda kunobva
Zvinonzi
Kandiro.
Kandiro kanenda kunobva kamwe.
What I believe is that as Zimbabwean comedians, taking all of us, what led us to be in different places is not out of our will. It's never something we planned. When I wanted to do comedy for the first time, I remember I approached you at Book Cafe, and you gave us a chance to shoot open mic Nana Mbudzi and Long John. You know, I would think that in years to come, that night that you led me to perform the first time would lead me to be here. You know,
I
never think that. So ideally, I don't believe in. I'll never tell any comedians, come if you want to work. And I say, look, let's work. I'm not the best of the comedians. There are far much better comedians in Zimbabwe, and some we don't know. So the best we can do is grow the industry.
Yeah, that's it.
But I'm kind of disappointed. But I'm kind of disappointed in all of you guys. Because you guys, you just talking about workshops. No one is talking about saying, I'm sending money. As you're broke, as you're I'm gonna beg it.
Sending money.
Louis, send a beg him that and don't me darling. Send a beg him that.
On that, joke. I love the narrative. I love the changeover of narrative. Remember when you asked these guys earlier, they were telling you, yeah, DJ Fresh, you know, I told him if you want me, now you're gonna pay more because I want Africa's Got Talent. Baba.
Some of us have families, okay? We don't.
Okay, but generally, on a scale of out of 10, and on a scale of 10, how would you rate yourselves in terms of fitting in terms of managing to balance? Say you have different audiences that you know, in terms of content creation. Do you think in where you are right now, you've managed to set yourselves in those places to be able to create content that can at any moment? Right now, if I go to Lesotho, I would have to ask and then try to, if I have to stay in Lesotho, I have to need a month or so to adjust. If you guys adjusted to the environments you are in terms of content creation, in terms of delivery of jokes, do you feel like you feel South African, you feel Dutch, can you say that as a comedian?
As for me, I've actually gotten used to that, to adjusting every time when I perform. I can be in Zambia today and perform my material differently than how I'm going to perform it tomorrow, maybe in Kenya. You see, it all comes from traveling and experiencing different audiences. You see, so and I've also kind of like created material that is local but yet global. So I can talk about Chimani Mani, where I come from, but in a global way. You see, and that also actually helped me. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm still learning. I think right now I'm on like a 6. I still have a lot to learn. You see, I'm still learning every day. I'm still trying to see how I adjust.
Nice.
In my case, I agree with Long John. I've also kind of adjusted. Like, I can right now in South Africa, before we go to other countries, in South Africa, you can put me in any province, whether it's Tswana speaking, Pedi speaking, Zulu, you can put me in any province. I've kind of adjusted. I now know how I deliver my sets, right? And then in terms of me feeling South African,
like Zampief.
Why, Mr. Doc? Why? But in terms of feeling South African, that's one thing I've told myself that I don't want by any chance to feel South African. Because when I start feeling South African on stage, I'll start doing what South Africans do. Ganti, me, now when I'm on stage, I'm telling the Zimbabwean story. Like my set from beginning to end, I'm telling the Zimbabwean story. The first thing I say is I'm from Zimbabwe, and then Zimbabwean story after Zimbabwean story. So I don't want to feel South African by any means. I just wanna tell the Zimbabwean story.
Yeah.
Adjusting, I have. Yeah.
Ah, nice. So bringing Jackie into the mix, you have been evading that question since the beginning of this panel discussion. How does it feel to be a comedian outside your own country? How does it feel to be carrying an extra victim of xenophobia? I mean, how does it feel?
I give up.
It's actually a great thing. For me, most comedians actually go Long John, they know, and other comedians. They actually say Jake is funnier than me, right? That's what they actually believe. Reason being is people
true.
love Jackie.
because he's funny. Because he's funny.
He's way funnier.
Okay. So here's the thing. The fact that Jackie is a puppet. So the moment I take out Jackie, no matter how bad of a night I was having just holding the mic without Jackie, the room kind of switches on because they're like, what's going on now? It's something that they don't really see every time on comedy shows. So it kind of catches their attention very fast. And Jackie is funny. So I end up winning the night because of that too. So it actually works on my side. And since it's a monkey, racism in South Africa, the whole racism debate, it was all about white people calling us monkeys, right? So when I'm performing for a white audience, they kind of feel like, but they appreciate the craft. I don't know if it makes sense. So yeah. So Jackie works for me.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that you admit that. Yeah, but you admit that Jackie is funnier because you admit you just said that when the night is not going so well, you've just admitted that Jackie is funnier. You admitted that Jackie is funnier than you. You said when the night is not going so well, Jackie makes extra and then a good night. So we know it's neither,
You know what we mean.
you know what we mean. Nice. Louis?
As for me, really, to be honest with you, because I don't want to make this, it was supposed to be fun. I don't want to make this monotonous. Yes, we all tell this Zimbabwean story. In terms of climatization, as I told you, the language barrier is the biggest factor. But the biggest task I gave myself is trying to appeal to those people by still being me. I don't want to ever change and be forced now to speak Dutch so that I can tell. I've just stuck to being me. I'm more comfortable being me than anybody else. And if at most all this lockdown has helped me, is I've become a better version of me that I feel, I'm feeling ready to lose that better side of me. That is, the only thing that I've climatized is obviously now I know why people always come back with these hairstyles because barbers are very expensive.
So that's it. That's the excuse.
How much is it for a haircut? How much is it for a haircut?
25 US.
25 US.
Equivalent. That's
What?
25.
What's a 25 bond? 25 US.
I know. So the problem is.
So Ojek is rich right now. He could be a rich person.
I've only been here for a year. So the Zimbabwean in me is still there. So each time when someone mentions 25 euros, I'm immediately converting to eco cash rates. It's not making sense. It's not.
25. Asi unoti gerwa zvoti unotobhururuka kubva pabhabha kwenamba kwavo. 25 years you have to get a lap dance. You have to get a lap dance from strippers in that barber.
Yes. I must be popping bottles in there because it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
There's a comment saying that good comedy transcends race.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's good comedy. You know, it like breaks that barrier, man. Like when imagine when everybody is laughing at the same thing at the same time, no matter what color or where you come from. I feel like laughter is a universal language. You can go to Asia, you can go to Europe, they will laugh the same way. So it definitely translates. You know, it's amazing how universal it is. You see. So if your comedy is amazing, I'm sure it can unite. Comedy unites. That's what I feel. For that hour you're on stage when everybody's laughing, everybody is united. We are in this together. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think,
I would like to
Louis?
comment. I would like to comment that, you see, in the part I live in, it's very rare to see. How can I put it? It's not. I can't say this country is very liberal and free. There's no racism at all. If it's taken very highly, if anyone is ever to insult you in any way, they will get fined heavily. So it's something really that's not there. But it's just, I feel that the aura around Black people in terms of us moving away from our normal societies and trying to integrate in these societies, it lessens our confidence as people. You more just trying to assimilate. Whereas I chose the difference of it. Whereas I chose to be one of the prime event planners. I'm not there yet, but I gave that confidence of aura. So when I'm on stage, it's like I'm trying to represent all the Black people that are not able to speak out. So I feel more confident having more of them, you know?
Yeah.
So it really helps everyone understand that, look, you can be Black, white, or whatever, but it doesn't mean certain things have to be done by this group of people. It just shows that everybody can do if you have the heart, if you have the zeal. And I brought my very Zimbabwean to it, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Chick, your take on that?
Nah, I agree with everything they say. I'm here.
I feel like
we see you.
What Long John is saying.
Yeah, they're in the same room.
I feel that too.
How's you good? How's
you can ask OJ. You can answer that one.
Ibra is killing us. Ibra's on fire.
Yeah.
It's always on fire. Just get a gunshot right now. That's why I'm just quiet.
Okay. So guys, we're getting to the coming to the end of our discussion. I think our audience will agree with me that this was very insightful, eye-opening. We have other aspiring comedians that might want to cross the borders, and obviously we'll surely link them up with you guys when they're in town. They can see you. Louis, no one will be in town because it's a distance. But you guys just in Limpopo, if I throw a stone right now, the chances that I hit Simba right now is high. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. But before we round up, can you just maybe say a few words? But just a few words before we close. Just a few words. We'll start with Chick Audrey before he copies everyone. Chick Audrey, parting shots.
Few words.
There's no few words here.
All right. All I want to say is, Simuka Comedy, you're doing a great job, guys. Like for real, you guys are doing a great job. Like I've been following what you're doing and also organizing this whole festival. Like it's not everyone who's doing this, and for me, it shows growth in Zimbabwe comedy. It shows growth. It shows that there's future in our comedy as Zimbabweans, as people come from Zimbabwe. We still have a backbone, because most Zimbabweans we're just in South Africa. But when people ask you how many times you performed in Zimbabwe, we really don't have much time that we can say I performed in Zimbabwe this long. There's other comedians who are actually living in South Africa who started doing comedy when they were this side, and they're Zimbabweans. They have never performed in Zimbabwe. So us having this thing, I'm sure these people, they're gonna have a place to back home, knowing kuti aiwa zviri kufire kuteni
Yeah.
comedy industry riko mani kuteni. So I just want to say big up to Simuka Comedy.
Yeah.
Dope. Yeah.
Nice.
Respect.
That is dope.
Louis.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
As for me, I would like to just leave with two quotes. One is two statements said by two of my favorite people. One being my father. He always has a statement that if not, why not? You know. So in the sense of Simuka, if Simuka can conquer new markets, can create a name for itself as the hub of comedy in Zimbabwe, then why not? You know, we should go for it. And then the second is a statement that you, Dr. Keller, always say, that the revolution will be televised. And I guess these are signs and prophecies of such. And I would say,
That's
Luther,
amazing.
continue at Simuka, let's keep fighting, let's keep breaking doors, and creating more spaces.
That is dope. I love that. It's
long ago.
No, as for me, I just want to take this time to thank Simuka for giving me a chance when nobody else would. Remember, I came from Chimano. Actually, I messaged Simuka and they gave me my first ever stage time at Book Cafe Harare. And if it wasn't for Simuka, I wouldn't be a comedian I am today. Because even after I performed, Doc Vikela, you were hard on me, which is amazing. And I applaud you for that, because you always told me the truth. If I sucked, I sucked. And you tell me I'm fine. I don't feel that. So thank you so much for that, man. You know, I am here because of that.
Imagine from your first performance. From your first time you went on stage. F Tangirai. Now you're killing it.
It was bad, man.
Yeah, like Long John is famous as such in a way. So we Long John, your journey. Yeah, Long John's journey is always nice. Chikauje also in your formative years, you passed through Simuka. We said a lot of things to you. They only gave you them, you know. Yeah, because if you didn't say those things personally, you would be sitting on your laurels and, you know, look at Louis. We told him stuff and now he got a visa. He's now smoking. Now smoking weed. Really in Netherlands. But guys, wonderful. Yes, on the panel today. I hope we're going to link up either early next year to do shows, physical shows, post-coronavirus. But for now, I just say stay safe and don't do what I would do. To our audiences, those that
I would do
thank
it.
you so much. Keep tuned into Simuka Comedy Facebook page, Simuka Comedy International on YouTube, and see the programming that we have until tomorrow. That's when the festival ends, and even after and after and after. This has been what's the name of the show? Comedy Exports, showing the best that Zimbabwe is out there. Until next time,